The true story of Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man, is absolutely wild and heartbreaking. Imagine walking down the street and people literally cross to the other side just to avoid looking at you because your body is so twisted and unusual. That was Joseph Merrick's everyday life in Victorian England. He was born totally normal in 1862, but by age 5, things started changing. His body began betraying him in ways doctors had never seen. First, tumors showed up on his back. Then bones started growing unnaturally on his forehead, feet, and right hand. And get this, his skin turned gray and wrinkled, like an elephant's. Tumors kept multiplying, spreading everywhere, and he developed these massive warts that oozed a foul-smelling liquid. Seriously, can you even imagine? His mom died when he was 11, and his life went full-on Dickensian. His dad remarried, and his new stepmother was zero fun. She forced him to work, even though his deformities were getting worse. He tried rolling cigars, but his hand got too messed up. Then his dad got him a street sales license, but nobody would buy anything from him because of how he looked. With no income and nowhere to go, his stepmother kicked him out. At 17, he ended up in the workhouse for 5 years. That was basically the last resort for the poor back then. We don't know much about his time there, but somehow he got in touch with a retired showman named Samuel Torr. Torr saw Merrick and immediately thought, circus sideshow. Torr and his partners came up with the name Elephant Man to promote him. And get this, even though his appearance scared people in normal life, Victorians were totally willing to pay to stare at him in a freak show. He actually made decent money doing this. Eventually, a guy named Tom Norman, who specialized in human oddities, took over managing him in London. This is where things took a turn. Merrick met a surgeon named Frederick Treves, who was fascinated by his condition. Treves examined him, but meeting Treves also led to the theater where Merrick worked getting shut down. Jobless again, Merrick joined a circus touring Europe, but bad luck followed him. The circus manager robbed him and left him stranded. He somehow made it back to London with nothing. Desperate, he reached out to one of the few kind people he knew, Frederick Treves. Treves was shocked by how bad Merrick's health was and got him admitted to the Royal London Hospital. Treves stabilized him, but couldn't find a long-term place for him. Another supporter wrote a letter to the Times newspaper telling Merrick's story and asking for help. The public responded with donations, which meant the hospital could afford to keep him permanently. Merrick spent the last few years of his life in special rooms at the hospital. He passed away at just 27. The official cause? A broken neck. See, his head was so heavy, he usually had to sleep sitting up. One night, he tried sleeping lying down like a normal person, and it tragically snapped his neck. For years, nobody knew what caused his condition. People even thought it was because his mum was trampled by an elephant while pregnant, which Merrick himself believed for a time. They also thought it might be elephantiasis, but he'd never left England, so that didn't fit. Doctors studied him his whole life, but couldn't figure it out or stop it. It wasn't until 1986, almost a century after he died, that DNA tests on his skeleton finally gave a likely answer: Proteus syndrome. This is an incredibly rare genetic disorder, affecting maybe 1 in a million people. Joseph Merrick was that 1 in a million. Even today, there's no cure or treatment for Proteus syndrome. And in a strange twist, just like he was an object of curiosity in life, his skeleton is still on display at the Royal London Hospital, where he found his final home.